Welcome to my course on Elm 0.19 Fundamentals. I'm Dan, and I want to give you a solid foundation so that you can start building reliable front-end web apps with Elm. To avoid surprises, it's important to keep an eye on the tool's versions. This course was created using the displayed versions of Elm and Visual Studio Code. This slide shows the version of Elm for which the information in this course applies. We're going to start with an introduction and setting up Elm. Let's start with the motivation for using Elm in the first place. Why use Elm when there are other options? In the next clip, let's see how to install Elm so that we can start playing with it. The third clip is about using the Elm command line, or the so-called REPL, to write some super basic code. Visual Studio Code has a special plugin for Elm, which makes your life easier, so let's see it in action. The final clip introduces a relatable and practical project for source code examples throughout this course. To answer why Elm, let's consider a typical modern enterprise called Globomantics, which has various web apps for its business needs. Unfortunately, Globomantics suffers more and more from JavaScript fatigue. The ecosystem changes so fast that previous latest and greatest tools from 2 years ago are now obsolete. Moreover, some web apps have subtle bugs which are very difficult to fix. Also, front-end developers are reluctant to refactor older code, fearing that they might introduce even more bugs. To address this situation, Globomantics wants to explore other technologies for the front end of some of its web apps. Here are some of Elm's strong points to motivate using Elm and watching this course till the end. First, Elm is a small programming language focused on creating web apps. Elm is much smaller than JavaScript, so it's easier to learn. Since it's a new language, Elm started from a clean state without all the legacy features that JavaScript accumulated over time. Second, Elm code is compiled into JavaScript code. The awesome part is that the Elm compiler acts like a friendly bot assistant which offers guidance to you so that you can fix any errors and cover all corner cases that might otherwise produce bugs. Fixing bugs early is much cheaper than fixing them later on in production. Third, Elm delivers high productivity over the lifetime of a project. In addition to productivity gains from fixing bugs early, Elm enforces an excellent front-end architecture that can be reused across web apps. Furthermore, Elm is strongly typed, which reduces the need to write tests and makes refactoring easier. Also, Elm has few dependencies, which lowers JavaScript fatigue on keeping up with growing numbers of dependencies in projects. Fourth, Elm is going to make you a better developer. In addition to a more enjoyable and productive coding experience, Elm is different from a typical object-oriented, imperative C-based language. In contrast, Elm is a purely functional language, like Haskell. Learning Elm is great for starting and growing your functional programming skills, which is going to make you stand out as a passionate developer with a wide range of programming experiences. I hope you're excited to learn more about Elm. Still, it's important to keep a balanced perspective and point out that many things in programming are about trade-offs. Elm also has some weak points. First, Elm is a niche language, which means it has a smaller community than other tools, such as React. Smaller community means less documentation, fewer opportunities, and so on. Second, Elm uses pure functional programming, which requires a bit of getting out of the comfort zone. Still, you're going to benefit from learning pure functional programming since you can reuse some ideas to other languages. So, for which kind of projects is Elm a weak or a strong fit? Elm is a weak fit for building static websites with little interactivity, since such projects cannot benefit from Elm's capabilities. Also, Elm is a weak fit for small throwaway prototypes, since some bugs are acceptable for such projects. Finally, if a project is mostly about gluing together various third-party components, including some JavaScript libraries, then Elm doesn't provide significant added value. In contrast, here are some kinds of projects which can really benefit from using Elm. First, rich web apps with a lot of interactivity, including single-page web apps, are an excellent fit for Elm. Second, some web apps need to be maintained for long term. Elm is a great fit since it produces reliable web apps that can be refactored with confidence. Third, some web apps have a lot of custom logic. Elm's functional style helps implement such logic. Finally, since Elm enforces the same architectural style across web apps, large distributed teams can work confidently on various Elm projects and understand quickly other Elm web apps. Overall, Elm has a lot of potential for solving JavaScript fatigue for projects with a strong fit. Next, let's install Elm.